Right. I was going to talk about Kim Ji-woon's I Saw the Devil on this video, but I decided not to for the very simple reason I haven't finished watching the film. I will say really briefly that it's a hard watch, and I'll explain all that in my next video when I've had a chance to really sit down and watch the whole film. But keeping on the Korean theme and keeping on the theme of films that really, if you get a chance, you got to watch them, I'm going to talk about this film. Memories of Murder. This is probably among the top 10 films to come out of Korea, in my honest opinion. It's got my favorite actor in it, Kang-Ho, who I've waxed lyrical about in other videos. And the thing that makes this film so special is it's based, quote, on a true story, end quote. And it is. It's also based on a stage play, which the name of I can't remember right now, but the stage play was used to help the director sequence everything, because the stage play was again based on the true events that this film has been based on. The plot line in a nutshell, between, I just got to double check here, 1986 and 1991, Korea, this small village, experienced their first ever serial sex killer. And they were at a bit of a loss as to how to catch the guy. Now the film opens with two local police detectives trying to find out what's going on and why these women, a total of 10 in all, are being viciously raped and murdered. To say they're out of their league is probably the understatement of the century. Their idea of getting evidence is to beat it out of the suspect. One of the detectives is Kang-Ho. It's the kind of film that fits him beautifully because he can look really like the village simpleton. But when he acts and when he does things, he shows he's not. As the crimes go on, they bring in outside help because they're very desperate to catch this guy. Mainly because of the lack of clues. There have been no pubic hair samples or anything left that are normally found at a crime scene, and they really are pulling their hair out. They do finally manage to get a DNA sample, but as this is the day and age before DNA sampling was as fast as it is now, they had to wait a long while for the sample to come back. And when it did come back, it was inconclusive. I won't give away the ending of the film, but what I will tell you, it is probably the best character mix of a film I have seen in ages. Kang-Ho Song's character, who's the local police detective, doesn't get along with the police detective that they bring in from Seoul, Korea, who is the next best big thing. He's been trained at Quantico at the FBI headquarters, so he knows all the new up-to-date things to help solve the crime. The interaction between those two is just absolutely brilliant. The film is tense, so tense, some of the scenes you sit there on the edge of your seat, white-knuckling the whole experience. But there are flashes of humor and a lot of flashes of insight. Insight on how, in my mind anyway, probably a small-town detective division works in Korea, or at least back in those days. But you find out that it takes the Seoul trained detective, the FBI trained detective, to get them on the right track as to what patterns there are. And these were horrific murders. Be prepared to be a little bit shocked by some of the things that this guy did. Overall, brilliance is not a word I can put to it. It's something more than that. It's intense, it's moving, and it's eye-opening. And as I said, the character arcs on all the main protagonists in the film are just absolutely fantastic. It really is a must-see. If you don't watch anything else from Korea, watch this. It really is something special. I will warn you, I was under the impression that it was a digitally made film. Asian cinema went through a very long spell of making all their films on digital equipment. In other words, not on standard film stock. I did check IMDb and it was done on standard film stock, so I don't know why there's this in the video copies. Maybe it was something in the copy process. But there are at least 2 glitches in the film. And this isn't a bootleg copy, it's not something I do. It's across the counter, bought out of a proper store, HMV over here. It was the same thing in the rental. So I don't know why that's in there. But it's not disconcerting, it's just noticeable. So when you see it, disregard it. It won't take you out of the story, it certainly didn't me. And it's one that I take out constantly, dust it off and play it again and again and again. And it was another thing that made me a firm, lifelong fan of Kang-Ho song. So there you go. That's my tip for this week. Let me know if you watch it. Let me know if you've seen it. Either way, drop me a comment in the box below, boxes below, and let me know what you thought about it or think about it if you watch it. Hopefully, the next time I come on here, I will be doing Kim Ji-woon's I Saw the Devil. But until then, as I always say, keep watching the films and have fun. Bye. If you don't watch anything else over the last couple of months,